Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Very good. How are you? How is the energy in the room? Are we feeling good? Excellent. Can I just say bonjour and thank you so much for rescuing me from the UK, where it's been a bit crazy recently, and I'm just so pleased. Not only have you rescued me from the madness that is the UK, but you have brought me to this beautiful city of Nîmes. And because of time constraints, I am going to cut straight to the chase and say Nîmes, in many ways, represents an awful lot of what we are talking about when it comes to sustainability and tourism today. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Christian Delom to bring on Arme.
Bonjour. First of all, I'm not going to have my speech, but because we are late and Mr. Meyer has some other concerns after that. So I want to hand over to the Mayor of Nîmes, Mr. Jean-Paul Fournier, please. And he's going to say some words about this beautiful city and why we are here. Mr. Meyer.
Bien, Monsieur le Président, Madame la Vice-Présidente de la région Occitanie,
Mr. President, Mrs. Vice President of the region Occitania, Mr. Secretary General,
respectifs.
Joint Mayor for Tourism and Joint Minister for Tourism, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor as well as a pleasure to address you here in Nîmes for this very important meeting.
Je ne peux pas être plus fier en tant que maire dirigé
As a mayor, I couldn't be prouder
comme capitale mondiale éphémère
to set Nîmes as the pop capital of the travel world.
Monsieur Xavier Doué et nos partenaires,
Mr. Xavier Doué, as well as our partners, have managed to make Nîmes the place of an exceptional forum so that we can think about tourism of the future. I would like to congratulate the initiative of Mr. Vonne van Hout, President of Eventis Media Group,
pour organiser ce Davos du tourisme.
something that will help Nîmes become the Davos of tourism.
On peut jouer dans cette décision.
I know that many efforts have contributed to this decision. I would also like to thank the implication of Christian Delom, Secretary General, and his team for the wonderful efforts they have given to the organization of this event.
Cet événement est unique.
We can say that this event is quite unique.
Une dimension internationale qui est nécessaire et
There is also an international dimension that is needed
plus durable.
when we think about a more sustainable tourism industry
Un secteur qui se développe
that places tourism in Nîmes as
depuis 2 millénaires. Nîmes
a
est
topic for which we have valuable expertise. For over a millennia, Nîmes has been at the crossroad of commercial and touristic roads, at halfway between Spain and Italy, between the province, Cevennes, and the Mediterranean.
notre commune.
Tourism and its development
Le fil rouge qui guide mon action
for our city are one of the red threads of the municipal action and have been for over 30 years with cultural tourism, thanks to an old and valuable historical heritage, as the renovation works in the arena are proving it.
La maison carrée candidate de la France à l'inscription du patrimoine mondial à l'UNESCO en 2023.
And now other monuments have been inscribed to the UNESCO heritage.
Du futur
And we want to set ourselves in the future with the construction of the new Congress Hall as a business destination. Therefore, you can well understand that it's a very important tourism
non négligeable et aussi
city
pour les années à venir.
because of its history and its ambitions for the future. After months of sanitary crisis
Dans certaines régions du monde, nous devons réfléchir
and where we weren't allowed to travel, now we need to turn back towards the future of tourism. This is the goal of this forum,
locaux. La région
with a
Occitanie
strong link with Nîmes, its local partner, region Occitania, region of Caen, and the agglomeration of Nîmes metropolis. Therefore, it is a true honor to welcome you here. The panels that will address you is more than impressive.
de Nîmes avec un souvenir impérissable.
And I hope you will leave Nîmes with wonderful memories and durable solutions for the future. Sustainable tourism can bring a more respectful approach to the environment as well as humans who inhabit our planets.
Ainsi, le tourisme durable, c'est aussi
Therefore,
respecter
sustainable tourism
les valeurs,
means respecting
les
traditions,
même une langue, une culture,
values,
une histoire.
a language, a culture,
La
a
présidence
history.
et à l'avenir tout à fait
And I would
favorable.
like to say that Nîmes has a very favorable future when it comes to making this forum a long-standing agreement. I hope that in 2023 we'll be able to organize it in our new Congress hall, a high-tech and beneficial building for the environment. Thank you very much for listening.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want Mrs. Muriel Abadie, the Vice President of the region, to join me on stage. Muriel Abadie, yes. So, and yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Thank you very much. So, Muriel Abadie, you can have a seat just by me. And Excellencies, Madame Vice President of Occitanie, Mr. Meyer, ladies and gentlemen, I am more than happy to welcome you for our second Award for Travel Forum here in Nîmes, in Occitanie, France. To our virtual delegates and to the students from universities all over the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Bonjour, bon après-midi et bonsoir.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Made it possible to establish a baseline of where the travel industry sat collectively vis-à-vis sustainability, and to closely echo to messages for climate challenges laid out by COP26 and the Glasgow Declaration. We had a group of 350 people in Évora, Portugal, and were welcomed by Madam Secretary of State, dear Rita Marques. We are missing you. I know your flight has been cancelled. It's live. And nearly, we had 60,000 attended virtually at this event last year, and with an audience of that reached more than 18 million via the media. And why such a success? Yes, of course, we were anxious to meet again after the pandemic lockdowns and travel bans. But the real reason was that everyone had come to realize that the solutions for transforming travel and tourism are not just tucked away within sectors of our industry, and even less in a single country. Obviously, we note an increasing awareness and even that actions proliferate. This is good. But the need for speed is even greater. And this year, with the academic rigor of Roland Berger, our consulting group, we will take stock of the 5 urgent acts defined last year and see how we need to respond. I want to thank all of you who have responded to the survey we sent them. In the meantime, some crises have accelerated. The climate crisis abounds with weather disasters and heat waves all over the world. The energy crisis demands us to find ways to a carbon-free and energy sovereign position. An economic crisis signaled by the return of inflation, forgotten until we see the effects on our production systems and our consumption habits. And finally, the horrific geopolitical crisis of war in the Ukraine. I'd like to make a special welcome to Mrs. Yulia Zuzka and Mrs. Yulia Sosyukina from Kharkiv City, with us today, and to the Honorable Andrei Moskalenko, Deputy Mayor of Lviv, who took time to participate in this event virtually. True examples of courage and dedication to travel despite the circumstances. I want you to applaud them warmly. And thank you for coming. So, we are aware of the urgency, yes. We are conscious of our responsibility, yes. We know we need transformation, yes. But dear friends, the time for action has long since come. Here in this magnificent city of Nîmes, in this beautiful region of Occitanie, in the country which is the number one destination in the world, we know what history delivers in terms of tremor and fragility. It isn't only the planet that is asking us to act. It is all of humanity. A Word for Travel 2022 is therefore entirely action-oriented. It is in this forum we hope to challenge you to think further and wider. Action is not a great mythical, distant and hypothetical thing. Hic et nunc in Latin, that was said 2,000 years ago, right here in Nîmes. It is here and now. Every step, big or small, is necessary. Among all the components of sustainable transformation we cover this year, we concentrate on two of them which are not discussed regularly: the social or human impact and the economic impact of not being sustainable. Human impact, what is it? Why do employees not return or stay to the travel sector? Why salaries are not competitive? Why working conditions are the last thought for many? The demand by communities for respect and consideration of their identity and their economies, their need for more control, and above all, the need for everyone, from our businesses to travelers, who through their behaviors are the key to transformation. From the economic aspect, the impact of our business model raises a question of sustainability. How does the industry access funding? How invest in sustainable solutions? How do we look to fund this transformation? We must take both of a top-down and bottom-up approach, a 360-degree view. The public and private sector must operate in coordination with each other. But more than that, we must harness the knowledge we have across sectors to drive solutions that bring investment and ensure profitability. We must question, as I said, our business models, constantly trying to lower costs and prices, reducing margins, and relying on volume. It isn't sustainable. I ask you to take the time while you are here in Nîmes to contemplate how else we can operate. Ladies and gentlemen, dear delegates, these are some of the issues we must tackle, both in scope and intensity. As I said last year, the sustainable transformation of this travel sector is lagging behind, but there has been a noticeable upturn in activity, which proves that our industry can adapt, can transform, and can continue to be crucial to the inhabitants of the planet. I thank all our partners that made this forum possible. I thank all of you who have shared your wisdom in its preparation. And I want to give a special thanks to the Resilience Council, our ally for this forum, dear Minister Bartlett, co-chair of the Council, and Duncan Horton, CEO of GMG, stalwartly supporting its activity. And last but not least, Frederic Van Loot, CEO and founder of Eventis Media Group, and I, we are very grateful for everyone's support from the public sector as from the private sector. Thank you. I therefore declare this second edition of Award of Travel open. Merci beaucoup. And now I have introduced Muriel Abadie, Vice President of the region. We are not here because we are inhabitants of the region. Because I am inhabitant of the region. We're here on purpose because Occitanie is an example. So we want to hear more about this exemplarity. Mrs. Vice President?
Merci, Monsieur Delom. Mesdames et messieurs,
Thank you very much, Mr. Delom. Ladies and gentlemen,
nous quitter. Monsieur le secrétaire général, Christian
as the
Delom,
mayor of Nîmes was leaving, the Secretary General Christian Delom, Mr. President of the Regional Committee of Occitanie Mediterranée, Vincent Garel, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to be here with you today.
l'absence de notre
Please
présidente
forgive the absence of our President, Carol Delga, that had planned on coming, but however had a major emergency that prevents her from being here with us today. And please believe me, she is very saddened by her absence. It would have been a true honor and pleasure to be here with you all.
avec cette journée World for Travel.
It is true, today with this Word for Travel Day, we will think, ponder, discuss experiences from different countries, different origins, different perspectives, and so we need to think about new models, and it's important. So thank you for organizing this second edition, and thank you as well for organizing it in Occitania. As you said, Occitania is a wonderful region. Nîmes is a beautiful city, so rich in culture and history, that has a stellar and bright future, I believe, in the region of Occitania. Again, a very tourism-driven region, a first tourism destination. So thank you on behalf of all the inhabitants of Occitania for choosing our region. I was talking about models, and we need to realize today that the world is entering into a very transformational phase. It is the end of a model, the model that thought about tourism in terms of infrastructure and building, but when it comes to the scope and weight of our sector today, we all realize that we need a change in paradigm. New references are needed so that we can build a tourism sector where producing value becomes more important than volumes. Tourism of the future can happen only if we find the right balance by seeking consensus. Tourism for everyone, sustainable tourism, attractiveness, quality of life, tourism and inhabitants of a territory of quality equipment, and protection of landscape and biodiversity. The region Occitania has started already a very important transition, has done so for a number of years. In 2020, Carol de Vida had signed and committed in the Green Deal for Occitania as a red thread for her policies, a very strong commitment that makes us consider every single person, and we always try to act in accordance with environmental protection, and we want to listen to the diversity of every single inhabitant of our territory. Our Green Deal is a translation of the regional ambition to seek a green transition by creating a more just and a solidarity-based region. We have our oxygen card that was sold over 30,000 times this year, that allows the poorest households to enjoy outdoor activities. These incentive measures promote soft traveling, also through our train railway system and grid, and the Leo tickets that were sold this summer, almost 900,000 tickets during the summer, and these imply net zero carbon transportation, as well as promoted public transportation economy in our whole territory. Parallel to them, we have understood in Occitania that it is not important to receive awards and to be recognized. We are no longer in the dimension of competition, we are in the dimension of cooperation, co-construction, togetherness, and this is how we have created our new railroad for tourism, with co-construction, with collaborations, with different stakeholders, and these were the key words during our regional meetings. There were many meetings in the 13 departments of the region Occitania. I think it is clear that in Occitania we want to have a virtuous tourism, a tourism that drives sense, a tourism sector that is a shared capacity by all stakeholders, all professional stakeholders. And as a conclusion, it is clear that our region has committed to a progress plan based on employment, access tourism for the biggest part of the population, and in seeking a new balance for our territory, a responsible, sustainable, and shared future. Thank you.